Alright folks, as you can see, it's Tuesday, December 27th, I do believe. But as you can see here, on Christmas Day, it rained all day long. It was in the mid-30s, so it wasn't really warm enough for the snow to melt, but we got a bunch of rain, and it made everything icy, which is really great with cattle. Makes it hard to walk and makes it really rough riding a skid loader. But I wanted to come out here and show, I was feeding the cows back there, and with the way the weather looked, it's supposed to rain all day, and we had 40-mile-an-hour winds for 2 days in a row, and it was miserable out. So I brought the cows up here and started feeding them closer to the building so they wouldn't have as far to walk to get out of the wind. Which they spent the better part of the time out here anyways. But you can see this is where I fed a bale. In this hay, there's a lot of foxtail that was in here, and it was dry standing, so there's a lot of stuff here that's going to be mulch on the ground. And I've been feeding bales every other day. I bring 2 bales at a time. I bring 1 bale of hay and 1 corn stalk bale, and I just put the bale up, as you're gonna see in a moment, and let them eat what they want for 2 days, and they pretty much eat everything. There'll be a little bit of a pile left, and then I just take the skid loader and drag it around, because in the spring I will use the light drag, which is sitting right there. I'll take the light drag and I will drag all this stuff around to spread it out better. That way it won't really hurt any of the crop that's going to be growing. But then there'll be mulch on top of the ground for the worms to break down and turn into fertilizer and organic matter. But a lot of this stuff, whatever they don't eat in 2 days, they will come back and pick through later. I don't know what it is. After it gets snow or rained on, then they'll come back and eat it. It's kind of weird, but they are cows, so whatever. So this is what it's looking like out here, and you can see this bale. I just spread this one out this morning. Now they'll lay on this and scatter around a little bit more. And then, like I say, whatever they don't eat, I'll spread out with a light drag in the spring. This is where their last bale of hay was. There's not very much left here, so I really didn't take the skid loader and spread it around. The drag will get most of it. But you can see they're working on this bale right now. And they'll eat the bale of hay first, and then they'll work on the corn stalk bale. As you can see, they're not starving by any means. They get a big bucket of corn silage every day with a skid loader, so the corn silage is the majority of their diet. What are you doing, huh? 45? Yes. Then the hay and the corn stalks is basically just to keep them busy or hold them over, and you can see they were eating on it for a little bit, and then they went back to the hay bale. But there is some grasses in here, as you can see. This bale must have been a little bit wet when I baled it. This one could have been on the outside of the field because there was tall grass there, and I pretty much baled it right after I was done chopping stalks. But the whole idea of this is it's something for them to pick through. They'll leave a lot of the husks out of here, the stalks or whatever, if they don't eat it. It's just fertilizer going back to the ground or back to the field, because as you know, I chopped the outside rounds off of here, so basically I'm just trying to replace what I took off of it. You know, plus their manure. But this is how I'm doing it out here. And every day I just, as you can see, keep moving the bales along farther. until I get all the way around, or at least back to where, I don't know if you guys can see where I stopped feeding the other day before they were talking crappy weather. You can see around that corner, and there's a lot of stuff right on that knob. It's a sand knob, so I'm trying to build that up. And then up along there. And of course all the stuff I fed up there before we got snow is covered now. But this is what it's looking like. It looks like waste, but it's not waste. That's why I got all the extra corn stalks, was for this reason, to help build the soil up. Yeah, nosy. But anyways, that's what she's looking like out here. And then once we get closer to spring, once it starts getting muddy, they will be fed back in the lot. And then all the manure from the calves and all the bedding from the sheds, and then the manure for where these goofballs are fed until it warms up. That will get piled, and then after I cut the winter rye, and well, after I cut the winter rye over here, I'll cover it with manure, and then I'll plant the corn. And then after I cut hay, I'm going to try and compost some of the manure, or try and stir it a couple times a week or whatever to try and get it to break down a little bit more, and then I'll cover the hayfield. But the better part of that hayfield was covered this fall. I think there was two strips up there that I didn't get before the manure spreader broke. And then when I came back out, that stuff was too tacky. I didn't want to spread. It needed to be mixed up with manure, or with bedding and stuff more, so it would flow through the spreader. So there is a great big pile out there, some of you guys probably remember, that will get added to, so it'll be on that cement. And then, like I say, after I get the winter rye baled off, I'll cover that field before I plant the silage corn. Then after I get the first crop of hay cut, we'll cover that field. And hopefully by spring, before it gets muddy, I'll have this field all covered except for the center, basically, where the corn stalks are. I don't know. I'll probably end up taking the manure spreader and putting a couple loads down the middle here where the corn stalks were, but there's a lot of manure and stuff there from them picking through the corn stalks and whatnot. And when I'm spreading this out, some of this will end up over there too. So I'm kind of hoping to get the 60 running this winter, this coming spring. And we'll put him on the light drag, and we'll put some hours on him pulling that around. It's been sitting there for 3 years. I'm really hoping the engine's not stuck, but we'll try and pull start it here closer to spring when it warms up. There's no way to get a pull start right now. Everything's too icy. So, but yeah, this is figure we got about an inch of rain. It rained really hard all day, so makes it really miserable for walking around right now. Hopefully the cows crap somewhere on their path here that gives them something for their hooves to grab onto without slipping and sliding around. Or I might have to find some sand, but ashes work the best because they're a dark color. They absorb the sun and they kind of melt into the ice a little bit, and then they create a little bit of traction for the cows. I have a couple pails of ashes that I could bring in the shop and thaw them out and spread out here if I have to. But this is what she's looking like right now. There's manure piled up on here that I didn't get hauled out, which there'll be more come spring, because that's when it gets muddy. I'll feed them hay on top of the cement pad again, just because of the way when they're eating on dirt or mud, they just make it worse. So if I feed them on the cement pad, which this is all cement here around this, it usually works better. So yeah, that's what she's looking like. In the calves lot, I still got to get that water out of there, but I did get it disconnected the other day. Just got to get it cleaned out. but I've been moving their bale ring around in there trying to cover up some of this ice. So, but they're all fat and happy. So, and before spring I'm gonna have to go get another gate so I can move that gate or set up another gate farther down so the cows have more room to go inside. Try and keep that bedded down for when I start calving, because I think it's February 9th is my first calving date, or when I should start expecting them. You can see how deep this ice is here. I need to get this set up next year for this one water to water everybody, and next year there'll be a lot more animals drinking out of it, so shouldn't have this issue again. They're right, will be. That cow right there is my 14-year-old cow's first daughter, and that is mother and daughter right there. So can't remember if she's 11 or 12 years old. I'd have to look at my thing again, but these are both some pretty old cows here for, I say pretty old, but a lot of beef cows usually live for 15 years if they're fed a decent diet. I grew up around dairy cows, so 5-6 years is an old cow. But anyways, that's what it's looking like. And I've been keeping them bedded down, and the thing is, I have never had cows that love to eat winter rye straw. Well, these cows just devour it. So anyways, so yeah, that's what it's looking like. A little update here quick before the new year. I try to walk through my gate without getting electrocuted. But as you can see, it's icy everywhere. This is why I have the chains on the skid loader. Even with the chains, you still slip and slide around a little bit, but at least you can get going. So yeah, our winter wonderland. I think the wonder part is wonder why we live here. Anyways, so yeah, a little quick video of what it looks like the cows out wintering out there, the distribution of the manure and the feed waste and stuff. So anyways folks, comment, rate, subscribe, stay tuned for more, and I will catch you on the next one.